Ubuntu Desktop comes with a suite of programs called Libreoffice, which is a free, open-source software suite meant to provide functionality similar to Microsoft Office. Libreoffice is made up of a few different apps. There's a Writer for word processing, Impress for slide presentations, and Calc, which is a spreadsheet application. Let's take a look at Writer first. I'll open it by searching for it. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word or Apple's Pages, you'll see how this is similar to both of them. There's a ribbon across the top of the interface with commonly used features. And there's a sidebar here on the right where you can open up the document properties, page setup, and some other panels. Take some time to click around. I'll open up a document from my exercise files by clicking File, Open. Then I'll navigate to my Documents folder, and I'll open up this marketing plan document. I'll select the file and choose Open. I'll interact with the document a little bit and make some changes. Let's update the date here and change the color of this text. It's for marketing after all, so it should be eye-catching, right? And let's resize this image a little bit. There's a whole lot of features in Writer, and I encourage you to spend some time with these example documents to learn about them. And you can create a new document from File, New, and choose Text Document. If you create a new document and want to save it, you can do that with the File menu, or with the vintage floppy disk icon up here in the ribbon. One thing you'll want to be aware of when you save a document in LibreOffice is that these tools have their own open-source document format. Some other software can read these, but if you're interacting with people using Microsoft Office, it can be a good idea to save in the Office format instead of the native LibreOffice format. Doing that can help the people you're collaborating with from getting confused. Generally, you'll want to use the Microsoft 2013 XML format. You can find that in the drop-down here at the bottom right, and you can scroll down and choose DocX. Then I'll give my document a name and click Save. When I change the format, I'll be prompted just to make sure I really want to do this. Yes, I do. And I'll tell Writer not to bother me about that choice again. And now I've got a document saved in a compatible format. I'll close Writer for now. Let's take a quick look at Impress, which is the component of LibreOffice that we'll use for making slide presentations. I'll search for Impress, and I'll open up the application. When the software opens, I'm greeted with a window offering me a lot of templates to use for a new presentation. If you're starting from scratch, go ahead and choose one, but I'll click Cancel for now. And then I'll open up a PowerPoint file from the exercise files. With File, Open, browse to the Documents menu, and I'll choose marketingreview.pptx, and then I'll click Open. If you're used to Microsoft PowerPoint or Apple Keynote, you'll find this to be pretty similar. On a small screen like mine, this looks a little silly, but I can make room temporarily by closing the Properties window here on the right. I can get it back by clicking the little wrench icon. Over here on the left, I can see the slide view, and I can switch between slides in the deck. I'll switch to the second slide here and make a change. That sounds about right. Now, I happen to know that this slide doesn't have any interesting animations on it, so let's change that. I'll click over here on the right on this yellow flying star icon for animations, and then I'll select the element that I want to animate. I'll click the green plus to add an animation, and then I'll preview what it'll look like. There we go, so dynamic. The purple icon above the yellow star icon is for slide transitions. These are the animations that happen between slides, rather than the animation that happens for items on a slide, like we've just done here. Take some time and experiment with this deck, and explore some of the other options available. When you're ready for your big presentation, you can press F5 to start the slideshow, or go up to Slideshow in the menu bar and click Start from the first slide. Use the arrow keys to move forward and backward, and escape when you're done. As with Writer, you can save the file you've created, and by default, it'll try to save in the LibreOffice Impress format, which is fine if you're working with other LibreOffice users, but you might consider using the PowerPoint format if you're working with people who are using that software. I'll close out of Impress now. Let's take a look at Calc, the spreadsheet tool that's part of the LibreOffice suite. Again, I'll open it up from the search interface. I'll type Calc, and here it is. When I open it up, I get a new blank spreadsheet. I'll browse for and open a spreadsheet from the exercise files. Here's a sales report for a month's sales in a retail store. I'll choose it and press Open. If you're accustomed to Microsoft Excel or Apple numbers, this works in a similar way. You can type in cells to add text or to add formulas. Down at the bottom, we've got a formula, which we can see when we click in the cell and look here in the formula bar. This sums up all the sale prices for the month. I'll edit that to get the average price instead. I'll change sum to average. Interesting. I'll use Ctrl-Z to undo that and put it back to sum. Spreadsheets are a whole world to themselves, so I can't show you every feature of this software. But take some time and create your own spreadsheets or modify the ones I've provided in the exercise files. And remember, if you're interacting with people on different platforms, be sure to save your documents in a compatible format. In this case, the XLSX format that Excel expects. Before we move on from documents, I want to show you how to work with plain text as well. If you're working with code or other documents that need to be in plain text rather than styled text, you can use the text editor tool. I'll search for that and open it up. This interface is a little different than the LibreOffice programs. I'll click on Open to open a document and then choose Other Documents. I'll browse to my Documents folder and open up the website folder, and then I'll choose to open index.html, a code file. And here I can see my styled HTML text. If you're working on a larger code project, be sure to take a look in the software app for an IDE or integrated development environment if you need that. Or you can download a more programming-focused editor like Atom, Sublime Text, or VS Code.